into creating especially 3D and visual effects. We call the hero ship sort of our star, the one that's going to really take the spotlight. So while there were many different designs, and actually the very first one we did is kind of wild, but I wanted one that was a little more plausible from a reverse engineering standpoint. So the one we decided to choose was this one. When you're creating visual effects like this, we'll typically start by creating a 3D model. To create a 3D model, you sort of need a little more information than just flat on one perspective drawing. And although in this case we really don't have a whole lot, so we have to look at many different ancient carvings, ancient drawings, and any kind of reference that we can pick up. The main characteristics that you'll see with most of these depictions is that they all have a centralized disk, which is the sun disk, and then they'll all have some sort of wings. In addition to these, many of them have either snakes or little claws at the top and front, which we thought were a really interesting design. In looking at the wings, you'll see that the wings are feathered, but what was interesting to us was that the front parts actually had what looked like struts, a design feature that's common in a modern aircraft, where you have the rigid bulk of the wing in the front, and the flaps and air surfaces in the back, which are disconnected from each other and movable to allow for flight control. So our first goal was to create this exact carving in such a way that it would create a feasible or plausible flight-worthy design. Number one, just taking into account modern aerodynamic design. For the most part, we kept with smooth, rounded front edge surfaces. And like on a modern aircraft, we take this
back here. But I know that
some of these
Uncle's on the other side of the compound, but it'll be locked down.
Sort of
How do we get in?
Areas,
The base commanders held security guards.
So, we're searching corpses and uniforms.
Again, we want them to keep this as true to the original design as possible. So once we finish the first
Supposed to be deserted. They would have left mines.
We noticed that the carvings had many feather-like surfaces, all stacked next to each other, rather than fused like this, like on a modern aircraft. The other thing that kind of came to mind is that these are really long wings, and really great flying with atmospheric flight. But it really don't make a whole lot of sense when you think about it, because they wouldn't be great for up through the atmosphere and out into space.
I see a hazmat.
The whole ship, wings and all, have to be rotated 90 degrees to be able to launch. That's what's really strange. Then the obvious idea struck us. These feathers were very much like blades of a fan that could fold together very easily. We also realized the second part of it, that some of these front-end struts look like they're multi-section. From this, we came up with the idea that perhaps the wings fold in at some point for different kinds of flight. We have many modern aircraft, such as fighter jets, that modify the wing position depending on what type of maneuver they're trying to do. So we went back to the drawing board and recreated the entire design into a version where the front struts telescope out and pull the wings out from inside the ship, somewhat like a Chinese paper fan. This idea looked great, was very cool, and looked almost identical to the original ancient carving. But the first time we did the animation, holding the wings in, the first revelation was staring us right in the face.
Got the car!
Is it safe? Clear. Let's move. I'm coming through.
Mines on the ground!
Reloading!
They bolted the gate from the outside and took cover in the bunker. I smell a lurker. We'll need explosives to breach that. Take cover!
New Green Mountain Coffee Roasters brew over ice vanilla caramel. Convenient cafe quality coffee that's specially crafted to enjoy over ice. Finally, a coffee that loves ice.
I see a gas bag!
Somebody can that screamer!
Here, I'll get it over. What the hell?
I tripped the alarm! I tried to override, but it's opened every door in the bunker!
I need meds badly.
Take a straight and stronger course to the corner of your life. Just remember that the goal is for us all to capture all we want behind.
I set up an auto turret.
Don't surround yourself to self. One that's this way. Send the next call to speed. Shine with love and care for yourself. 'Cause it's time and time with your time and it's lose is captured.
Sapevo che saresti arrivato. Anzi, dov'è Alan? Dov'è Alan? No. Sapevo che prima o poi sarebbe successo. Era scritto nel destino. Da quando ha mangiato gli attributi di Ana, non è stato più lo stesso. Se n'è voluto andare così da solo. Ha trovato una grande caverna ed è lì che è voluto andare a morire.
Portami alla caverna subito. Ne hai sentito, Anzo? Ora.
Per la prima volta nei nostri annali un re non muore in giro e vi è seppellito. Che riposi in pace per l'eternità.
Sit tight back here, Doc. But I know the layout of the compound.
Can't risk it, even with your pistol skills.
Aveva ragione.
We'll let you know when it's safe.
Ed è riuscito a trovarlo. E grazie a lui, se il giro riuscirà a
Bunker's on
trovarlo.
the other side of the compound, but it'll be locked down. How do we get in? The base commanders held security cards.
So, we're searching corpses and uniforms, Zeke.
That's, Most likely. Appears to be deserted. They would have left mines. I've got nothing here.
Baby, I'm so sorry. You got me sweating me.
Do you want me to get your toothbrush? Toilet
Yo,
paper?
I'm doing something, baby. I'm going to jail.
I don't know. What is our online banking password?
Baby, I'm not going to yell that on the street. Happy news.
Watch your step!
I called my mom. She said you and Sean can go live on her trip.
Well, are you staying? I'm gonna figure it out. Hey, girl! Why are you so naked all the time? Wearing pants in the house is stupid, and I feel liberated. I want to feel free at home.
Well, how you feel at work then?
Expensive.
Get him up.
Oh my god! I talked to my mom.
Humility is terrible.
I've got nothing here.
You gotta say you don't admit to nothing, kid.
You are 32-year-old baby daddy in jail who almost got your pockets red until I put you on my credit.
Look out for the lurker.
Yeah, you real grown Ash.
Mine's on the ground!
Listen, if you lie,
We had an understanding. We would weather whatever storm came along.
You don't get to doubt my loyalty.
you can talk to me about whatever.
My mom is good to keep our secrets.
Let's go. It's showtime, honey.
Let me remind you,
Ready to go.
you don't know these people. You know your place. Stick with me and I'll guide you.
Look out, I've got nothing here.
Lots of feelings.
Does the job.
Welcome to the ordeal. Let's turn off on this ground.
We got a lurker!
Somebody can that screamer! Get back!
Incoming! Just back down. Get him down!
This is the account of the earth and its gold. It is an account of the beginning, how celestial gods were created. In the beginning, when, in the above, the gods in the heavens had not yet been called into being, and in the below, he, the firm ground, had not yet been named. Alone in the void there existed Apsu, their primordial begetter. In the waters of the below, the celestial gods had not yet appeared. In the heights of the above, the celestial gods had not yet been created. Above and below, the gods had not yet been formed. Destinies were not yet decreed. No reed had yet been formed, no marshland had appeared. Alone did Apsu reign in the void. Then, by his winds, the primordial waters were mingled. A divine and artful spell Apsu upon the waters cast.
Sit tight back here, Doc. but I know the layout of the compound.
Can't risk it, even with your pistol skills.
Bunker's on the other side of the compound, but it'll be locked down. How do we get in? Watch your step! The base commanders held security guards.
So, we're searching corpses and uniform Zeke.
That's
Tiamat, the mother of all,
most likely.
as a spouse for himself, he fashioned.
Appears to be deserted.
Celestial mother,
They would have left. Hands on the ground!
Beside him, Abu, little mother, then brought forth. As his messenger, to him pointed, a gift for Tiamat to present, a gift resplendent to his spouse, Abu granted. A shining metal, the everlasting gold, for her alone to possess. Then it was that the two, their waters mingled, divine children between them to bring forth.
Reloading!
Male and female were the celestials created. Hamu and Lahamu, by names they were called.
I'm reloading! This feels right.
In the below did
I've got
Atsu
nothing
and
here.
Tiamat make them an abode. Before they had grown in age and in stature, in the waters of the above, Anshar and Kishar were formed. Surpassing their brothers in size they were. As a celestial couple, the two were fashioned. A son, An, in the distant heavens was their heir. Then Antu, to be his spouse, as An's equal was brought forth.
I've got
As
nothing
the
here.
boundary of the upper waters where abode was made. Thus were three heavenly couples, below and above, the brothers created. By names they were called the families of Antu, Lamu, and Tiamat had formed. At that time, the breeder had not yet been seen. The earth was not yet called into being. Mingled with the heavenly waters, by hammer bracelet they were not yet separated. At that time, circuits were not yet fully fashioned. The destinies of the gods were not yet firmly decreed.
Hold on.
The celestial kinfolk banded together,
Keep your head down.
erratic were their ways. Their ways to Apsu were verily loathsome. Tiamat, getting no rest, and grief and rage.
Got this screamer! Get off of me! Somebody! I need meds! I'm
Drawn to
failing!
march by her side she formed. A growling, raging host against the sons of Apsu she brought forth. With all 11 of this kind she brought forth. She made the firstborn, Kingu, chief among them.
Help me!
When the celestial gods of this did hear, for counsel they rallied. Kingu, she has elevated, to rank as on, command to him she gave, to each other they said. A tablet of destiny to his chest she has attached, his own circuit to acquire. To battle against the gods, her offspring Kingu she instructed. Who shall stand up to Tiamat, the gods asked each other. None in their circuit stepped forward, none a weapon for battle would bear. At that time, in the heart of the deep, a god was engendered. In a chamber of fates, a place of destinies was he born. By an artful creator he was fashioned, the son of his own son he was. From the deep where he was engendered, the god from his family in a rushing departed. A gift of his creator, the seed of life, with him away he carried. To the void he set his course, a new destiny he was seeking. The first to glimpse the wandering celestial was the ever watchful Antu. Alluring was his figure, a radiance he was beaming. Lordly was his gait, exceedingly great was his course.
Of all the gods, he was the loftiest, surpassing theirs whose circuit was. The first to glimpse him was Antu, her breast-by child never sucked. Come, be my son, she called to him. Let me your mother become. She cast her net and made him welcome, made his course for the purpose suited. Her words filled the newcomer's heart with pride. The one who would nurse him made him haughty. His head to doubled size grew larger. He moved his lips in acceptance. A godly fire from them blazed forth. Toward Antu his course he turned, his face to An soon to show. When An saw him, my son, with exultation he shouted, to leadership you shall be consigned, a host by your side will be your servants. Let Nibiru be your name, as crossing forever known. He bowed to Nibiru, turning his face at Nibiru's passage. He spread his net, for Nibiru 4 servants he brought forth, his host by his side to be, the south wind, the north wind, the east wind, the west wind. With joyful heart, on to Anshar, his forebear, the arrival of Nibiru announced. Anshar, upon hearing this, Gaga, who was by his side, as an emissary sent forth, words of wisdom to An deliver, a task to Nibiru to assign. He charged Gaga to give voice to what was in his heart. To An thus say, Tiamat, she who bore us, now detests us. She has set up a warring host. She is furious with rage. Against the gods, her children, 11 warriors marched by her side. King, among them, she elevated. Destiny to his chest she attached without reckoning. No god among us her venom can stand up. Her host in us all has fear established. Let Nibiru become our avenger. Let him vanquish Tiamat. Let him save our lives. For him to create a fate, let him go forth and face our mighty foe. To An, Gaga departed. He bowed before him, the words of Anshar he repeated. On to Nibiru, his forebears' words repeated. Gaga's message to him he revealed. To the words Nibiru with wonder listened, of the mother who would her children devour with fascination he heard. His heart, without saying, set out against Tiamat, him already prompted. He opened his mouth to An and Gaga. He thus said, if indeed I am to Tiamat, your lives to save, convene the gods to assembly. My destiny proclaims supreme. Let all the gods agree in council to make me the leader, bow to my command. When Lamu and Lahamu heard this, they cried out with anguish. Strange was the demand, his meaning cannot be fathomed. The gods who decree the fates with each other consulted. To make Nibiru their avenger, they all agreed. To him her insulted fate decreed. From this day on, unchallengeable shall be your commandments. To him they said, no one among us gods shall transgress your bounds. Go, Nibiru, be our avenger. They fashioned for him a princely circuit toward Tiamat to proceed. They gave Nibiru blessings. They gave Nibiru awesome weapons. Anshar, 3 more winds of Nibiru brought forth. The evil wind, the whirlwind, the matchless wind. Vishar, with a blazing flame, filled his body, and then took hold Tiamat therewith. Thus ready for battle, Nibiru killed Tiamat directly set his course.
Here they come! Swap it out! I'm on a tear!
Who wants more? Loading ammo.
Reloading! Who's next?
Now this is the account of the celestial battle, and how the earth had come to be, and of Nibiru's destiny. The Lord went forth, his fated force he followed. With the raging Tiamat he set his face, he spelled with his lips he uttered. At the cloak for protection, he the pulsar and the emitter put on. With the fearsome radiance his head was crowned. On his right he posted the smiter. On the left, the repeller he placed. The seven winds, his host of helpers, like a storm he sent forth. Toward the raging Tiamat, he was rushing, clamoring for battle. The gods thronged about him, then from his path they departed. Scanned Tiamat and her helpers along the span. The scheme of Kingu, her host commander, conceived. When he saw Knight Kingu, blurred became his vision. As he gazed upon the monsters, his direction was distracted. His course became upset. His doings were confused. Tiamat's band tightly hurt his juice. With terror they trembled. Tiamat, to her roots gave a shudder. A mighty roar she emitted. On the Nibiru, she cast a spell, engulfed them with a charm.
Electric grid
The issue
activated.
between them was joined. The battle was unavoided. Face to face they came, Tiamat and Nibiru. Against each other they were advancing. They for battle approached. They pressed on for single combat. The Lord spread his hand.
Grid is juice.
Cast it. With fury, Tiamat cried out. Like one possessed, she lost her senses.
I swear I smell a lurker. We got a creep!
The evil wind, which had been behind him, Nibiru drove forward. In her face, he let it loose. She opened her mouth. The evil wind to swallow, could not close her lips. The evil wind charged her belly. Into her innards it made its way. Her innards were howling. Her body was distended. Her mouth was wide open. Through the opening, Nibiru shot a brilliant arrow, a lightning post divine. It pierced her innards. Her belly it tore apart. It tore into her womb. It split apart her heart. Having fled the Duvo, her life breath gave peace. The lifeless body Nibiru surveyed, like a slaughtered carcass Tiamat now was. Beside the lifeless mistress were 11 helpers, huddled with terror. In Nibiru's net they were captured. Unable they were to flee. Kingu, who by Tiamat was made the host chief, was among them. The Lord put him in fetters. His lifeless mistress, she bound him. He wrested from Kingu the tablets of destinies. Unrightly to him given. Stamped it with his own seal. Fastened the destiny to his own chest. The others of Tiamat's band, as captives he found, in his circuit he them ensnared. He trampled them underfoot, cut them up to pieces. He bound them all to his circuit. To turn around he made them, backward to course. From the place of the battle, Nibiru then departed. To the gods who had him appointed the victory to announce. He made a circuit about Apsu. To Kishar and Anshar he turned. Gaga came out to greet him. As a herald to the others he then journeyed. Beyond on and onto, Nibiru to the abode, in the deep, proceeded.
I'm on a tear!
The fate of lifeless Tiamat, and of Kingu he then considered. To Tiamat, whom he had subdued, the Lord Nibiru then returned. He made his way to her, paused to view her lifeless body. To artfully divide the monster in his heart he was planning. Then, as a muscle, into two parts he split her. Her chest from her lower parts he separated. Her inner channels he cut apart. Her golden veins he beheld with wonder. Trotting upon her hinder part, the Lord her upper part completely severed. The North Wind, his helper, from his side he summoned. To thrust away the severed head, the wind he commanded, from the void to place it. Nibiru's wind upon Tiamat then hovered, sweeping upon her gushing waters. Nibiru shot a lightning. The North Wind he gave a signal. In a brilliance was Tiamat's upper part to a region unknown carried. With her the bound Kingu, who was also exiled, of the severed part a companion to be. The hinder part's fate Nibiru then considered. As an everlasting trophy of the battle he wished it to be. A constant reminder in heavens, a place of the battle to enshrine. With his mace, the hinder part he smashed the bits in pieces. Then strung them together as a band to form a hammered bracelet. Locking them together, as watchmen he stationed them. A firmament, divide the waters from the waters. The upper waters above the firmament, from the waters below it he separated. Artful works Nibiru thus fashioned. The Lord then crossed the heavens to survey the regions. From Apsu's quarter to the abode of Gaga, he measured the dimensions.
Electric
The
grid
edge of the
activate.
deep, Nibiru then examined. Toward his birthplace he cast his gaze. He paused and hesitated. Then to the firmament, the place of the battle, slowly he returned. Passing again in Apsu's region, of the sun's missing spouse he thought of with remorse. He gazed upon Tiamat's
Robotic
wounded
death machine,
back,
baby.
her upper part he gave attention. The waters of life, her bounty, from the wounds were still pouring. Her golden veins, Apsu's rays were reflecting. The seed of life, his creator's legacy, Nibiru then remembered. When he trod on Tiamat, when he split her asunder, to her the seed he surely imparted. He addressed words to Apsu, to him thus saying, with your warming rays to the wounds give healing. Let the broken part new life be given, in your family, as a daughter, to be. Let the waters to one place be gathered, let firm land appear. By firm land, let her be called, peace,
50 cal, ready to
burning
blast.
to peace. Apsu to the words of Nibiru gave heed. Let the earth join my family. He, firm land of the below, let earth her name henceforth be. By her turning, let their day and night be. In the days my healing rays to her I shall provide. Let Kingu be a creature of the night. To shine at night I shall appoint him. Earth's companion, the moon forever to be.
Swarm coming in!
Nibiru the words of Apsu with satisfaction heard.
Bull coming
He crossed the heavens and surveyed the regions. To the gods who had him elevated he granted permanent stations. Their circuits he destined, that none shall transgress or fall short of each other. He strengthened the heavenly locks. Gates on both sides he established. An outermost abode he chose for himself. Beyond Gaga were its dimensions. The great circuit, to be his destiny, he beseeched Apsu for him to decree. All the gods spoke up from their stations. Let Nibiru's sovereignty be surpassing. Most radiant of the gods see. Let him truly the son of the sun be. From his quarter, Apsu gave his blessing. Nibiru shall hold the crossing of heaven and earth. Crossing shall be his name. The gods shall cross over neither above nor below. He shall hold the central position. The shepherd of the gods he shall be. A shar shall be his circuit, that his destiny will forever be. Now this is the account of the fire time and of the weapons prepared. Before the fire time will begin. After the fire time will be olden times. In the olden times, the gods came to the earth and created the earth. In the fire time, none of the gods was on the earth, nor was the earth in the fashion. In the fire time, the abode of the gods is on their own planet. Nibiru is its name. A great planet, reddish in radiance, around the sun, an elongated circuit Nibiru makes. For a time in the cold is Nibiru engulfed, for part of the circuit by the sun strongly is it heated. A thick atmosphere Nibiru envelops, where volcanic eruptions constantly fed. All manner of life this atmosphere sustains. Without it, there will be only perishing. In the cold period, the inner heat of Nibiru heats about the planet.
Come on now,
The warm
Creed.
In the hot period, it shields Nibiru from the sun.
Let go!
In its midst, rains and falls and releases, the lakes and streams giving rise. Lush vegetation our atmosphere
Create
feeds
his
and
juice.
protects. All manner of life in the waters and on the land sprouts from us. After aeons of time, our whole species sprouted, by our own essence and eternal seed to procreate.
This'll do.
As our numbers grew, the many regions of Nibiru our ancestors spread. Some tilled the land, some four-legged creatures shepherded. Some lived on the mountains, some in the valleys that home made. Rivalries occurred.
Putting down a 50 cal turret.
Clashes occurred. Sticks became weapons. Clans gathered in the tribes, then two great nations each other faced. The nation of the north against the nation of the south took up arms. What was held by hands with rusty missiles was turned. Weapons of thunder and brilliance increased the terror.
Putting down a
A
50
war,
cal turret.
long and fierce, engulfed the planet. Brother amassed against brother. There was death and destruction both north and south. For many circuits, desolation reigned the land. All life was diminished. Then a truce was declared, then peacemaking was conducted. Let the nations be united, the emissary said to one another. Let there be one throne on Nibiru, one king to reign over all. The leader from north and south by lot be chosen, one king supreme to be. A king from north, the south to the female to be his spouse, as an equal queen to reign alongside. If by lot, a south male be chosen, let the north female be his spouse. Husband and wife let them be as one flesh to become. Let the firstborn son be the successor. Let a unified dynasty thus be formed. Unity on the beard forever to establish. In the midst of the ruins, peace was started. North and south by marriage were united. The royal throne into one flesh combined, the unbroken line of kingship established. The first king after peace was made, a warrior of the north he was, a mighty man. By lot, truth and fair shall be chosen. His decrees and truths were accepted. For his abode he built a splendid city. A god, his king, was his name. For his reign, the royal title was granted. On it was, the celestial one, was its meaning. With strong arm, order in the land to be established. Laws and regulations to be increased. Governors for each land to be appointed. Restoration and reformation was the foremost.
One of ours is down!
Of him in the royal annals, something was recorded. On the land unified. Peace on the beard he restored. He built a new city. The canals he repaired. Peace to the people he provided. There was abundance in the land. For his spouse, the south, a maiden had chosen. For both love and warring, he was noted. Antu was her royal title. The leader who was On's spouse, the given name Beverly Disney. He bore on 3 sons and no daughters. The firstborn son was by her name Antu. By On, a solid foundation was his maiden. Alone on the throne he was seated. A spouse to choose was twice postponed. In his reign, concubines were brought into the palace, and one from him was not born.
This shit's bad.
The dynasty thus begun was by the death of Antu the king, and the foundation of the offspring followed. The middle son, though not the firstborn, the legal heir was pronounced. One of 3 brothers, Ib, by his mother was roughly called, the one in the middle was named Onias. By royal annals, on Ib he is named, the ancient celestial by generation, the one who is On's son, the name signified. He followed his father on the bearded throne. By count, he was the third to reign. The daughter of his younger brother he chose to be his spouse. Nin-Ib, she was called, the Lady of Ib. A son to On-Ib by Nin-Ib was born. The successor on the throne he was, the fourth by the count of kings.
Reloading! Stay close! Look
By the royal name On-Shargal he wished himself to be known. On's prince, who was greatest of princes, was the his spouse, a half-sister, Kishargal, was equally named. Knowledge and understanding were his chief ambition. The ways of the heavens he assiduously studied. The great circuit of Nibiru he studied, its length a shard to be he fixed. As 1 year on Nibiru was the measure, by it the royal reigns to be numbered and recorded. The shard to 10 portions he divided, 2 festivals thereby he pronounced. When nearest to the sun's quarters, a festival of the warmth was celebrated. When to its far abode, Nibiru was distant, the festival of coolness was decreed. Replacing all olden festivals of tribes and nations to unify the people, the 2 were established. Laws of husband and wife, of sons and daughters, by decree he established. Customs from the first tribe he proclaimed for the whole land. The wars, females grazing outside males. Decrees he made, 1 male to have more than 1 female for knowing. By law, 1 wife as official spouse to be chosen, first wife to be called. By law, the firstborn son was his father's successor. By these laws, confusion soon came about. If the firstborn son not by the first wife was born, and thereafter by the first wife a son was born, by law the legal heir becoming, who shall be the successor? The one by the count of Shar's firstborn? The one by the first wife born? The firstborn son? The legal heir? Who shall inherit? Who shall succeed? In the reign of Anshargal, Kishargal, as first wife was pronounced. A half-sister of the king she was. In Anshargal's reign, concubines were again brought into the palace. By the concubines, sons and daughters to the king were born. A son by one was the first to be born. The son of a concubine was the firstborn. Thereafter, Kishar bore a son. The legal heir by law he was. The firstborn he was not. In the palace, Kishar raised her voice, in anger shouting, "If by rules my son, by a first wife born, the succession shall be barred, let the double seed not be neglected. Though of different mothers, of one father, the king and I are offspring. I am the king's half-sister, of me the king is half-brother. By that, my son, the double seed of our father on it possesses. Let henceforth the law of the seed, the law of the spousal, overpower. Let henceforth a son by a half-sister, whenever born, above all other sons, rise to succession. Anshargal, contemplating, the law of the seed embraced with favor. Confusion of spouse and concubines, of marriage and divorce by it would be avoided. In their council, the royal councillors, the law of the seed for succession adopted. By the king's order, prescribed the decree recorded. Thus, the next king by the law of the seed for succession was proclaimed. To him, the royal name Anshar was granted. Fifth on the throne he was.
You don't stand a chance! Catch bang!
Now this is the account of the reign of Anshar and the kings who followed. When the law was changed, the other princes were contending. Words there were, rebellion there was not. As his spouse, Anshar, a half-sister chose, he made her first wife, by the name Kishar she was called. Thus was by this law the dynasty continued. In the reign of Anshar the fields diminished their yields. Fruits and grains lost abundance. From circuit to circuit, nearing the sun, heat grew stronger. In the faraway abode, coolness was more biting. In Agad, the throne city, the king, those of great understanding assembled. Learned savants, those of great knowledge to inquire were commanded. The land and the soil they examined, the lakes and the streams they put to the test. It has happened before, some gave an answer. The bureau in the past, colder or warmer, had grown. A destiny it is, in the circuit of Nibiru embedded. Others of knowledge, the circuit observing, Nibiru's destiny to blame did not consider. In the atmosphere, a breaching has occurred. That was their finding. Volcanoes, the atmosphere's forebears, less belching, were spitting up. Nibiru's air has thinner been made. The protective shield has been diminished. In the reign of Anshar and Kishar, pestilences of field made appearance. Toil could them not overcome. Their son, Anshar, then the throne ascended. Of the dynasty, the sixth he was. Lordly master of the Shar, the name did signify. With great understanding he was born. With much learning he mastered much knowledge. To remedy the afflictions, ways he sought. Of Nibiru's heavenly circuit he made much study. In its loop, of the sun's family, 5 members it embraced, planets of dazzling beauty. For cures to the afflictions, their atmospheres he caused to be examined. To each he gave a name. Ancestral forefathers he honored. As heavenly couples he then considered. On and onto the twin-like planets he called the first 2 to be encountered. Beyond in Nibiru's circuit were Anshar and Kishar, in their size the largest. As a messenger, Gaga among the others coursed, sometimes first Nibiru to meet. 5 in all were Nibiru's heavenly greeters, as the sun it circled. Beyond, like a boundary, the hammer bracelet the sun encircled. As a guardian of the heaven's forbidden region with havoc it protected. Other children of the sun, 4 in number, from intrusion the bracelet shielded. The atmospheres of 5 greeters Anshar set out to study. In its repeating circuit, the 5 in Nibiru's loop carefully were examined. As by observation and with celestial chariots intensely were examined. The findings were astounding, the discoveries confusing. From circuit to circuit, Nibiru's atmosphere more belching suffered. In the councils of the learned, cures were avidly debated. Ways to bandage the wound were urgently considered. A new shield to embrace the planet was attempted. All that was thrust up, back to the ground came down. In the councils of the learned, the belching volcanoes were studied. The atmosphere by belching volcanoes having been created, its wound by their diminished belching had come to be. Let the invention of new belching be encouraged. Let the volcanoes spew again, one savage group was saying. How the feat to achieve, with what tools more belching to attain, none the king could inform. In the reign of Anshar, the breach in the skies grew bigger. Rains were withheld. Winds blew harder. Springs from the depths did not rise. In the lands there was an accusation. The breasts of mothers were dry. In the palace there was distress. The accusation therein took hold. As his first wife, Anshar, a half-sister did espouse, by the law of the seed, abiding. Ninshar she was called, of the Shars the lady. A son she did not bear. By a concubine to Anshar a son was born. The firstborn son he was. By Dinshar, the first wife and half-sister, a son was not brought forth. By the law of succession, the concubine's son, the throne ascended, the seventh to reign he was. Du Uru was his royal name, and his dwelling place fashioned was its meaning. In the house of concubines, not in the palace, was he indeed conceived. As his spouse, a maiden from his youth, beloved Du Uru chose. By love, not by seed, a first wife he selected. Da Uru was her royal name. She who is by my side was the meaning. In the royal court, confusion was rampant. Sons were not heirs, wives were not half-sisters. In the land, suffering was increasing. The fields forgot their abundance. Among the people, fertility was diminished. In the palace, fertility was absent. Neither son nor daughter was brought forth. Of On's seed, 7 were rulers. Then of his seed the throne was dry. Da Uru, a child at the palace gateway found. As a son she embraced him. Du Uru, in the end, as a son him adopted. Legal heir him decreed. Lama, meaning dryness, was his given name. In the palace, the princes were grumbling. In the council of the counselors, there was complaints. In the end, Lama the throne ascended. Though not of On's seed, he was the 8th to reign. In the councils of the learned, to heal the breach there was 2 suggestions. One was to use a metal, gold was its name. On Nibiru it was greatly rare. Within the hammer bracelet it was most abundant. It was the only substance that to the finest powder could be ground. Lofted high to heaven, suspended it could remain. Thus, with replenishments, the breach it would heal, protection make better. Let celestial boats be built, let a celestial fleet the gold to Nibiru bring over. Let the weapons of terror be created, was the other suggestion. Weapons that the ground shake loose, the mountains split asunder. With missiles the volcanoes to attack, their dormancy to bestir, their belching to increase, the atmosphere to replenish, the breach to make disappear. For a decision, Lama was too feeble. What choice to make, he knew not. 1 circuit Nibiru completed, 2 shars, Nibiru to count continued. In the fields, affliction was not diminished. By volcanic belching, the atmosphere was not repaired. A 3rd shar passed, a 4th was counted, gold was not obtained. In the land, strife was abundant, food and water were not abundant. In the land, unity was gone, accusations were abundant. In the royal court, savants were coming and going. Counselors were rushing in and rushing out. The king to their words paid no attention. Counsel from his spouse he only sought. Lahoma was her name. If destiny it be, let us beseech the great creator of all. To the king she said, beseeching, not acting, to provide the only hope. In the royal court the princes were astir. At the king accusations were directed. Foolishly, unreasonably, greater calamities instead of cure he brought forth. From the olden storehouses weapons were retrieved. Of rebellion there was much speaking. A prince in the royal palace was the first to take up arms. By words of promise the other princes he agitated. Alalu was his name. Let Lama be king no more, he shouted. Let decision supplant hesitation. Come, let us unnerve the king in his dwelling. Let him the throne abandon. The princes to his words gave heed. The gate of the palace they rushed. To the throne room, its entrance restricted, like onrushing waters, they went. To the tower of the palace the king escaped. Alalu was him pursuing. In the tower there was a struggle. Lama fell down to his death. Lama is no more, Alalu shouted. The king is no more, with glee he announced. To the throne room Alalu rushed. On the throne he himself seated. Without right or counsel, a king he himself pronounced. In the land, unity was lost. Some by the death of Lama rejoiced. Others by Alalu's deed were saddened. Now this is the account of the kingship of Alalu and of the going to earth. In the land, unity was lost. Of the kingship, many were aggrieved. In the palace, princes were agitated. In the council, counselors were distraught. From father to son, succession from on the throne continued. Even Lama, the 8th, by adoption a son was proclaimed. Who was Alalu? Was he a legal heir? Was he firstborn? By what right did he usurp? Was he not a king's slayer? Before the 7 who judge, Alalu's son, his fate to consider. Before the 7 who judge, Alalu spread his pleas. Though neither legal heir nor a son firstborn, of royal seed indeed he was. Of Anshargal am I descended, before the judges he claimed. By a concubine, my ancestor was to him born. A lamb was his name. By account of Shars, the lamb was the first. The throne to him belonged. By conniving, the queen his rights put aside. A law of the seed from naught she created. for her son the kingship obtained. A lamb of kingship she deprived, and her son instead it was granted. By descent of a lamb's generations am I continued, the seed of Anshargal is within me. The seven who judged to Alalu's words gave heed. To the council of councillors they passed the matter, truth or falsehood they ascertained. The royal annals from the House of Records were brought forth, with much care they were read. On and onto the first royal couple were, 3 sons and no daughters to them were born. The firstborn was Anki. He died on the throne, he had no offspring. The middle son in his stead, the throne ascended. It was his name. Anshargal was his firstborn. The throne
Here they come!
After him on the throne, kingship by the firstborn did not continue. The law of succession by the law of the seed was supplanted. A concubine son was the firstborn. By the law of the seed of kingship he was deprived. The kingship instead the Kalisuccess son was granted, though being a half-sister of the king was seduced. Of the concubine son, the firstborn, the annals made no record. Of him I am descended, the law which the councillors spread out. By the law of succession to him kingship belongs, by the law of succession kingship am I now entitled. With hesitation the councillors of Alawi an oath of truth demanded. Alawi swore the oath of life and death, as king the council appeared considered. They summoned the elders, they summoned the princes. Before them the decision was pronounced. From among the princes the young prince stepped forward. About the kingship words he wished to say. Succession must be reconsidered, the assembly he said. Though neither firstborn nor by the queen a son, a pure seed am I descended. The essence of An in me is preserved, by no concubine diluted. The councillors heard the words with amazement. The young prince was stepped closer, they summoned. They asked for his name. It is Anu, after my forefather, An am I named. They inquired about his generations. Of An's 3 sons he then reminded. Anki was the firstborn, without son or daughter he died. An-Id was the middle son. Instead of Anki, the throne he ascended. An-Id, the daughter of his younger brother, took to be his wife. From then onward, the succession is in the annals recorded. Who was that younger brother, a son of An and Ansu, born of purest seed? The councillors performed event looked at each other. Indiru was his name. Anu to them announced. He was my great ancestor. His spouse Nindiru was a half-sister. Her son was firstborn. Inama was his name. His wife was a half-sister. By laws of seed and succession, a son she bore him. Of pure descent, the generations continue. By law and my seed.
What's up?
Anu, after our forefather An, did my parents name me. From the throneship, we were removed. From An's pure seed, we were not removed. Let Anu be king, many councillors shouted. Let Alalu be removed. Others cautioned did counsel. Let strife be prevented, let unity prevail. They called in Alalu, the discovered findings to be told.
That's
to
right,
the
that's right.
Alalu his arm in embrace offered. To Anu he thus said, though by different offsprings of one ancestor we are both descended, let us live in peace, together Nibiru to abundance return. Let me keep the throne, let you keep the succession. To the council words he directed, let Anu crown prince be.
How gentle.
Let his son and daughter espouse, let succession be.
Sometimes you gotta be.
Anu the council.
Just okay, not gentle, stay humble.
Always not fair, I shall be. His successor in waiting. A son of mine, a daughter of his, After the council petition, in the royal hall, there was his son.
Oh, you dodging everything.
The son of the state, Spanish commanded to consult him. The deciding
got you.
Let Celestial vote
Alright.
be decided. The secret vote in the hand bracelets. By the hand of bracelets, the votes were crushed. None of them were. Let the weapons of terror that balance in the beer be cut open.
That's great.
Then erupt, he then commanded. With weapons of terror, skyborne chariots were armed. With
get in there, get in to get my hands dirty.
Mountain spade,
I ain't afraid.
In the land
what's going on, Ali?
Abundance there were activities. In the palace, Anu was for Alalu's cupbearer. He would bow at Alalu's feet, set the drinking cup in Alalu's hand.
I'm trying to stay focused real quick. You know, they own me right now.
In the land, rejoicing proceeded.
This is only stage 9. Let them have it.
Yeah, Who's next?
The people of Nibiru ceased to revere their king, instead of relief and their grief of mouth. Alalu on the throne remained seated. The strong and wise Anu.
There you go.
He would bow to Alalu's feet, with the drinking cup in Alalu's hand. For 9 counted periods, Alalu was king of Nibiru. In the ninth Shar, Anu gave battle to Alalu. The hand-to-hand combat with body allowed you to challenge.
I need. Oh my goodness, who shot me?
They got together in a perfect storm. More close trembled and walls.
Hey, check me out. If you got Spotify or Apple Music,
fell on his chest.
type in my name, Kalisuccess. I got some music there.
On into the palace.
I'm a pro. Yeah, I do kind of good by myself on here. I get further.
Unbeknownst to others, the place of the celestial chariots from Hurricane.
Shit, 10, what I got? 30.
The four-part chamber he entered, the commander's seat he occupied, that which shows the way he lit up, the bluish aura the chamber filled.
Ooh, we're trying to shoot at me, man.
Stirred up, their full music was flying. The chariot's great cracker heat reminded, reddish brown.
All this shit I put together. Nobody can't give me no power.
Others in the celestial boat, Malawi from the spirit escaped.
Medic.
To snow-hued earth, Malawi set his course. By a secret from the beginning, he chose his
Now maybe you'll say
to snow-hued earth, Malawi set his course.
Gracias.
By a secret from the beginning, he chose his destination. The regions forbidden, Malawi made his way.
All right. That's right. That's right.
A secret from the beginning, Malawi's course met each other. The fate of Nibiru in his hand did wait.
How you doing over there? You all right?
On Nibiru,
You know, so it's fucked up everywhere and shit.
In his scheme, risk was in the journey. Eternal glory of success with reward. Riding like an eagle, Malawi in heaven's scale. Below,
You know where I'm from.
Come on now, Cree. I know you were.
Oh, damn, I knew it. I had the wrong gun out. Fuck. Oh, good looking at him, boy. My boy came and saved me. For a mere second.
He looked down again. The wide reach.
Oh, it's ugly.
He looked again.
Let him have it. Let him have it. Oh, my bad. Come on. What's going on? Jeez. Couldn't get my chainsaw out fast enough. There we go. It's too late, man. I want my chainsaw when it comes out.
100 leagues, 1,000 leagues, the chariot was close. 10,000 leagues, the chariot was close. The wide heavens, darkness was darkest. In the faraway, distant stars.
Oh, they tore down our fences, killed zombies with headshots. Can't do headshots.
Then a great show of escape. The expanse of the heavens, the celestial emissary was empty. Little Gaga, the one who chose the way by his circuit, while it was greedy.
Come on, get some headshots in. Get some headshots in. Get some headshots in. Yeah, I try to be, man. I try to be. Oh, with my back out. Headshots. Grenade. Cutting through, slicing through, son of a bitch. They dropping me like a bug. Oh no. Who that? Johnny, come on, you gotta survive this. You gotta survive. Hey, get a brother out, get a brother out. Back up. Oh my goodness. They dropped me. Alright, Ali. You have a good one, man. Nice chatting with you, bro. Oh, we all dead now. Damn.
The foremost point of the heavens, the course was unchanged. By the speeding chariot, aloft the staring full of Anshar picked up. With bright rings of dazzling colors, the chariot was enchanted. His gaze, Alawi, to one side quickly turned. That which shows the way, with might he diverted. A sight most awesome then to
I think I read right
in the
now.
faraway heavens, the family's bright star he discerned. A sight most frightening, the revelation followed. A giant monster, in its destiny moving, upon the sun a darkening cast. Kishar, its creator, swallowed. Frightening was the occurrence, an evil omen, Alalu indeed thought. The giant Kishar, foremost of the firm planets, its size was overwhelming. Swirling storms obscured its face. Colored spots they moved about. A host beyond counting, some quickly, some slowly, the celestial god encircled. Troublesome were their ways, back and forth they were moving. Kishar itself, the spell was casting. Divine lightnings, it was thrusting.
Hey, man. Hey, is it true they found a giant over there in Iraq some years ago?
Then the deepest darkening began to depart. Kishar on his destiny continued to circuit. Slowly moving, its veil.
You say, I still got giants over there in Iraq, hiding in the caves.
Joy in Alalu's heart was not long lasting. Beyond the fifth planet, the utmost danger was lurking. So indeed he knew. The hammered bracelet, ahead was raining. To demolish it
I'm
was
ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
Of rocks and boulders was it together hammered.
Get my
Like
guys
orphans
up.
with their mother,
Bam.
they banded together.
What's this?
Surging back and forth, the bygone
Plant this
destinies
speed
were
clip
followed.
one.
Their doings were loathsome, traveling were their ways. The beer's probing chariots, like preying lions, they devoured. The precious gold, needed for surviving, they refused to dislodge. The chariot of Aladdin toward the hammer bracelet was headlong moving.
I'm lost on that.
Ferocious soldiers, close combat, boldly faced.
I'm lost.
The chariot more strongly stirred up. That which shows the way, with steady hands he directed. The ominous boulders against the chariot charged forward, like an enemy in battle attacking. Toward them,
You know. How if I go further? Oh shit, it go.
and another against the enemy. The pair of
Hold on, I gotta do this. Hold on.
As frightened warriors, the boulders turned back. They passed for a moment.
They gonna take too damn long.
Like by a spell,
Into
the
it,
hammer
yeah.
bracelet, a doorway to the king, it opened. In the dark deepness, allowing the heavens to clearly see. By the bracelet's ferocity, he was not defeated. His mission was not ended.
There we go.
In the distance, the sun's fiery ball is brilliant ascending forth, welcoming rays toward Alado in vicinity. Before it, a red-brown planet on its circuit was coursing, the sixth in the count of the celestial gods it was. Alalu could but glimpse it. On its destined course from Alalu's path, it was quickly moving.
Man, I'm hungry. I don't know what the hell I want to eat.
The seventh in the celestial count. Toward the planet, Alalu set his course, to a destination most inviting. Smaller than Nibiru was its alluring ball. Weaker than Nibiru's was its attracting net. Its atmosphere thinner than Nibiru's was. Clouds were within it, swirling. Below, the earth to three regions was divided. Snow white at the top and on the bottom. Blue and brown in between. Deathly, Alalu spread the chariot's arresting wings around the earth's ball to circle. In the middle region, dry lands and watery oceans he could discern. The beam that penetrates downward, he directed, Earth's innards to detect. I've attained it, ecstatically he shouted. Gold, much gold, the beam has indicated.
That's right.
And in the waters too. With pounding heart, Alalu...
Oh, what the hell just happened?
Shall he on the dry land his chariot bring down, perchance to crash and die? Shall he to the waters his course direct, to perchance to oblivion sink? Which way shall he survive? Will he the treasure gold discover? In the eagle's seat, Alalu was not stirring. In fate's hands, the chariot he entrusted. Fully caught in Earth's attracting net, the chariot was moving faster. Its spread wings became aglow. Earth's atmosphere like an oven was. Then the chariot shook, emitting a mortifying thunder. With abruptness, the chariot crashed, with a suddenness altogether stopping. Senseless from the shaking, stunned by the crash, Alalu was without moving. Then he opened his eyes, and he knew he was among the living. At the planet of gold, he victoriously arrived. Now this is the account of how the olden times began, and of the era that in the annals the golden era by name was known, and how from Nibiru to earth the missions went, the gold to obtain. The escape of Alalu from Nibiru was its beginning. With great understanding was Alalu endowed, much knowledge he by learning acquired. By his forefather, Anshargal, of the heavens and the circuits, much knowledge was amassed. By Enshar was knowledge greatly augmented. Of that Alalu made much learning. With the sages he discoursed, savants and commanders he consulted. Thus was knowledge of the beginning ascertained. Thus did Alalu.
Y'all be having that good shit out there?
The gold in the hammer bracelet was the confirmation. The gold in the hammer bracelet, of gold in Tiamat's upper half, was the indication.
I don't know if I should be showing you that.
At the planet of gold, Alalu victoriously arrived, his chariot with thunder crashing. With a beam he scanned the place, his whereabouts to discover. His chariot on dry land descended. At the edge of extended marshes it landed. He put on an eagle's helmet. He put on a fish's suit. The chariot's hatch he opened. At the open hatch he stopped to wonder. Dark-hued was the ground. Blue-white were the skies. No sound there was. There was no one to bid him welcome. Alone on an alien planet he stood, perchance from the beer forever exiled. To the ground himself he lowered. On the dark-hued soil he stepped. There were hills in the distance. Nearby much vegetation there was. Ahead of him there were marshes. Into the marsh he stepped. By the water's coolness he shuddered. Back to dry ground he stepped. Alone on an alien planet he stood. With thoughts he was possessed, of spouse and offspring, with longing he remembered. Was he forever from Nibiru exiled? Of that again and again he wondered. To the chariot he soon returned, with food and drink to be sustained. Then deep sleep him overcame, a powerful slumber. How long he slept he could not remember. What awakened him he could not tell. A brightness there was outside, a brilliance on Nibiru unseen. A pole from the chariot he extended. With a tester it was equipped. It breathed the planet's air. Compatibility it indicated. The chariot's hatch he opened. At the open hatch he took a breath. Another breath he took. Then another and another. The air of key indeed compatible was. Alalu clapped his hands. A song of joy he was singing. Without an eagle's helmet, without a fish's suit, to the ground himself he lowered. The brightness outside was blinding. The rays of the sun were overpowering. Into the chariot he returned. A mask for the eyes he donned. He picked up the carried weapon. He picked up the handy sampler. To the ground himself he lowered. On the dark soil he stepped. He made his way toward the marshes. Dark greenish were the waters. Into the marsh he thrust it. In the marsh, moving his eyes glimpsed. The waters with fishes were filled. Into the marsh the sampler he lowered, the murky waters to consider. For drinking the water was not fit, Alalu greatly disappointing. He turned away from the marshes. In the direction of the hills he went. He made his way through vegetation. Bushes to trees gave way. The place was like an orchard. The trees with fruits were laden. By their sweet smell enticed, Alalu picked up a fruit. In his mouth he put it. Sweet was the smell. Sweeter the taste was. Alalu greatly it delighted. Away from the sun's rays, Alalu was walking. Towards the hills he set his direction. Among the trees, a wetness under his feet he sensed, a sign of close-by waters. In the direction of the wetness he set his course. In the midst of the forest there was a pond, a pool of silent waters. Into the pond the sampler he lowered. For drinking the water was good. Alalu laughed. An unstopping laughter seized him. The air was good. The water for drinking was fit. There was fruit. There was fishes. With eagerness, Alalu bent down. Together his hands he cupped. Water to his mouth he brought.
Lay him out,
A coolness did the water have. A taste from Nibiru's water, different.
He ain't got my money.
Once more he drank, then with fright he asunder jumped. A hissing sound he could hear. A slithering body by the poolside was moving. His carried weapon he seized. A blast of its rays toward the hissing sound he directed. The moving stopped. The hissing was ended. To examine the danger, Alalu stepped forward. The slithered body lay still. Dead was the creature, a sight most strange. Like a rope its long body was. Without hands or feet was the body. Fierce eyes were in its small head. Out of its mouth, a long tongue was sticking. A sight on Nibiru never beheld it was. A creature of another world. Was it the orchard's guardian? Alalu by himself pondered. Was it the water's master? Himself he asked. In his carried flask, he some water collected. With alertness to the chariot he made his way. The sweet fruits he also picked. To the chariot he set his course.
Oh, shit.
The brightness of the sun's rays was greatly diminished. Darkness it was as the chariot he reached. The shortness of the day Alalu pondered. Its shortness him amazed. From the direction of the marshes a cool lightness on the horizon was rising. A white-hued ball in the heavens was quickly rising. Kingu, the earth's companion, he now beheld. What in the accounts of the beginning his eyes the truth could now see. The planets and their circuits, the hammer bracelet, Ki, the earth, Kingu, its moon, all created were, all by names were called. In his heart Alalu knew one more truth a beholding needed. The gold, the means of salvation to be found was needed. If truth be in the beginning tales, if by the waters the golden veins of Tiamat were washed, in the waters of Ki, its cut off half, gold must be found. With hands unsteady, Alalu the tester from the chariot's pole dismantled. With trembling hands the fish's suit he donned, the fast arriving daylight eagerly awaiting. At daybreak, the chariot he exited. To the marshes he quickly stepped. Into deeper waters he waded. The tester in the waters he inserted. Its illuminated face he eagerly watched. In his chest his heart was pounding. The water's contents was the tester indicating, by symbols and numbers its finding disclosing. Then Alalu's heartbeat stopped. There is gold in the waters, the tester was telling. Unsteady on his legs, Alalu stepped forward. Deeper into the marshes he made his way. Again he the tester into the waters inserted. Again the tester told announced. A cry of triumph from Alalu's throat emanated. Nibiru's fate in his hands now was. Back to the chariot he made his way. The fish's suit off he took. The commander's seat he occupied. The tablets of destinies that knows all circuits he enlivened. To Nibiru's circuit to find the direction. The speaker of words he stirred up. Toward Nibiru the words to carry. Then to Nibiru words he uttered. Thus he was saying. The words of the great Alalu to Anu on Nibiru are directed. On another world I am. The gold of salvation I have found. The fate of Nibiru is in my hands. To my conditions you must give heed. The fate of Nibiru is in my hands. To my conditions you must give heed. Those were the words of Alalu. From dark-hued earth to Nibiru they were by the speaker beam. When the words of Alalu to Anu the king were conveyed, Anu astounded was. Astounded were the counselors. Amazed were the sages. Alalu is not dead, they each asked each other. Could indeed he on another world be living? They would disbelieve were saying.
Baby. Let's
Was
go.
he not on the Nibiru hiding in the chariot to a place of concealment gone? The commanders of chariots were summoned. Savants, the beamed words considered.
What's going on with
the
y'all?
words from the Nibiru did not come. From beyond the hair bracelet they were spoken. This was their finding. This to Anu, the king, they reported. Stunned was Anu. The happening
What it do?
Let words of acknowledgement to Alalu be sent. To the assembled he was saying.
So we got up in here.
At the place of the celestial chariots, the command was given. To Alalu, words were spoken. Anu, the king, to you his greetings sends. Of your well-being to learn, he is pleased. For your departing from Nibiru, there was no reason. Enmity is not in Anu's heart. If gold for salvation you have indeed discovered, let Nibiru be saved. The words of Anu, Alalu's chariot, did reach.
Oh,
Alalu
damn.
quickly
I didn't mean to do that. Damn.
If your savior I am to be, your lives to save, convene the princes to assembly. My ancestry declares supreme. Let the commanders make me their leader. Bow to my command. Let the council pronounce me king. On the throne, honor to replace. When the words of Alalu on Nibiru were heard, great was the consternation. How could Anu be disposed? The councilors asked each other. What if Alalu mischief, not truth, is telling? Where is his asylum? Did gold indeed he find? They summoned the sages. Of the wise and learned, counseling they asked. The oldest of them spoke. I am Alalu's master, he was saying. He had hearkened to teachings of the beginning. Of the celestial battle he was learning.
Hold on, man. Let me get some. Oh. Capture the area. Capture the area. Yo. Hey, what the hell? I thought I had a better gun than that. What was I thinking? We got it. Get out of here. That's what I'm talking about. Teamwork. What they do? You know what I'm saying? We doing this. Oh shit. Let them have it. Get off my gate. Oh shit. Okay, cool. We got it. Here we go. Timing. What they do, Ali? Blow their asses up. Boom. You ain't playing. Man, I thought I had a better gun than this. What I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Get out my gate.
And make sure your defenses are holding. Hurry up.
Oh, you got 3 accounts? You paranoid.
We have ourselves an auditory.
All right. What we got here? Okay, watch this.
Putting the mine down.
Mine.
Lay down the claymore.
Auditory is good to go. Where are you?
You ain't here to play. Come on.
Putting the mine down.
Let's do this. Just in case.
Putting the mine down.
I put up reservoir.
Oh.
Electric grid activated. Putting down the scout turret. Scratch one screaming.
Popped him. Popped his ass. Popped his ass. He ain't playing. Oh, my bad. I got something for him. There we go. Get off of him. There we go. Damn, so. Oh. I got you. What you doing? What you doing running up on... Go, let's go. Yeah, come on.
Who's next?
That's right, that's right. Let's do this shit.
And make sure your defenses are holding. Move it, people. They're coming in fast.
We have ourselves an auto turret.
I gotta upgrade my pistol. I gotta upgrade my pistol, man.
I can make this work. This'll do.
Everybody stay quiet. Barbed wire is up.
Both of them. Both.
Lurker nearby. Watch the corners.
You wait. What I'm waiting on? What I'm waiting on? 30 seconds. I need to find me a pack. There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. I got something for that ass. Yeah, I got something for that ass. Yeah. Look at these guys right here, man.
Laying down the claymore. Putting the mine down. Bring them on. Drop that screamer.
God, get him.
Fresh ammo coming up.
Jump this punk ass. Blow their asses up.
Putting the mine down.
I ain't got no more explosives. No bag, no bag. Man, we was one explosive away.
You bought us some time. Stock up and check your defenses. You better hustle. Another swarm is almost on you.
What level?
Swarm inbound from the hangar. Switch position.
Take it to the other side. My Muslim? By the term a believer? Yeah, I'm a believer. I'm Christian? Nah, I ain't Christian.
Stay quiet. It improves our odds.
What we got here? What we got here? Uh-oh. We got one of my guys. Hold on, what we gonna need? We gonna need it.
I think I have it got to me.
Alright. And you got it. Do-do-do-do. Come on, where the pack's at? Where the pack's at?
Hider nearby. Voltage grid ready.
Found a medkit. Do not let them through.
Putting the mine down. Bring them on! Laying down a claymore. Fresh ammo coming up. Oh, yeah! Racking them up. Putting the mine down. That's more gas back down.
Nice work. You bought us some time. Restock and patch up your defense lines. You don't have much time.
Get him up one more time. I was shot. I was scared.
Creeper down.
Do that. I don't know nobody ain't gonna do that.
Stand back.
Putting the mine down. Putting the mine down.
All the doors is good to go. I put up razor wire.
Do not make noise. Putting the mine down.
Barbed wire is up.
Laying down a claymore. Screamer! Take him out!
Something is here. I can feel it.
Yeah! Who's next?
What kind of shit was that?
Luckily, thanks. Right, let's do it.
Area clear. Restock and patch up your defense lines. You don't have much time.
She got me!
I got an auto turret running.
Grid is juice.
Over here.
mine down.
Stay quiet.
Something's wrong.
Damn it, Chicky.
Putting the mine down. Laying down a claymore.
Something is here. I can feel it.
I've got eyes on a hazmat.
Putting the mine down.
This is it.
Putting the mine down. Laying down a claymore.
Searcher nearby. Watch the corner. Focus fire on the move.
Putting the mine down.
You got them all. Get yourselves resupplied and check defenses. Hurry up.
Come on, creep.
All the screen set.
High voltage defensive activate.
Keep the noise down.
Structure in our vicinity. Clear.
Yeah! Stay down, creep.
This is worth seeing.
That's what I'm talking about. Fraction. Electric grid activated.
Something's wrong.
They're coming in! Structure sighted!
Gas bag coming in! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Racking them up.
Control your fire! Lord, protect us.
Cover me, I'm reloading!
Chop his ass up. Chop his ass up.
Gun is dry!
Nice work. You bought us some time. Gear up and make sure your defenses are holding. You don't have much time.
Razor wire defense is set.
Voltage grid is live.
Psst. Keep it down.
One street operational. Hideout nearby.
Voltage grid set.
Putting down a 50 cal turret. Putting the mine down.
Fence is ready. Nalaka is down.
Putting the mine down.
Do not let them through.
Drop that screamer. Putting the mine down.
The screamer is dead.
Got the bomber. Laying down the claymore. Reloading.
Handman, bring it down.
I got eyes on the sector. Take a look.
Kill that gas back. Gas that down.
Nice work. You bought us some time. Get yourselves resupplied and check defenses. You don't have much time. Swarm approaching for the terminal. Move it. Lurker nearby. Watch the corner. Defenses activated.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Putting the mine down. Putting the mine down. Swarm coming in! Putting the mine down.
Somebody kill that screamer!
Yeah, uh-huh. Reloading.
Area clear. Gear up and make sure your defenses are holding. Hurry up.
Lurker in our vicinity. Stay alert.
Voltage grid ready.
We have ourselves an auto turret.
10,000 volts ready for action.
Keep the noise down.
Lurker nearby. Watch the corner.
Laying down the claymore.
Over here.
Putting the mine down.
Lurker in our vicinity. Stay alert.
Screamer! Take him out! I got no ammo. Here they come! Oh, yeah. Putting the mine down.
We got the inspector.
Putting the mine down. Hider nearby.
Nice work. You bought us some time. Get yourselves resupplied and check defenses. You better hustle. Another swarm is almost on you. Auto turret is set.
Laying down the claymore.
Auto turret is good to go.
We make the better.
Putting the mine down.
Something is here. I can feel it.
Keep your eyes peeled. Something's off.
Woo! Creeper taken out.
Have a look at this.
The bomber's down. Drop that screamer. I see a bull. ammo coming up. Who's next? Fresh ammo coming up.
Area clear. Gear up and make sure your defenses are holding. Hurry up. Enemy are moving in through the hangar. Move to new position.
Come on out, creep. I know your ass is there.
Do not make noise.
Putting the mine down. Putting the mine down.
Take a look. Targeting parameters confirmed.
Laying down the claymore. Hey, we don't want them to hear us. Putting the mine down.
On screen operational.
I put up reservoir.
Shit! Bulls down!
Area clear. Gear up and make sure your defenses are holding. You better hustle. Another swarm is almost on you.
Putting the mine down. Putting the mine down.
Ready for action. Over here. Stay quiet.
Creator's juice. Nobody's getting past this. Putting the mine down. Voltage grid ready.
Keep your eyes peeled. Something's off.
Electric grid activated. Putting the mine down. Laying down a claymore. Here they come!
I'm reloading.
I think I got something. Fresh ammo coming up. The big one is down. Bring 'em on! Get away from me! We're during this fight. I'm good.
Swarm defeated. Stock up and check your defenses. You better hustle. Another swarm is almost on you.
I need a med kit.
Get off me!
Look out! Creeper!
They're much stronger than they look. Sure.
All right. Do not make noise.
Thanks a lot.
10,000 volts ready for action.
Robotic death machine, baby! Putting the mine down.
Voltage grid is live. I'm breaching the door.
Screamer! Take him out! Putting the mine down. Putting the mine down. Shit! Bull! And he's down. I'm out of ammo. Bring 'em on! Come on, creep. Fresh ammo coming up. I got the hazmat.
You got them all. Stock up and check your defenses. You don't have much time. Swarm approaching from the terminal. Move it!
Robotic death machine, baby. Laying down the claymore.
Medkit. Anyone need it?
Voltage grid ready.
Stay quiet.
Something's wrong. Barbed wire is up.
Circuit notified.
Mortar trajectory confirmed.
I put up reservoir.
Putting the mine down. Y'all better run. Drop that screamer. Yeah, who's next? Fresh ammo coming up. Oh, yeah! Racking them up. Inspector, he's gonna spin.
Swarm defeated. Stock up and check your defenses.
Woo!
Hurry up.
Whew.
Keep your eyes peeled. Something's off.
Voltage grid set.
Got the looker! It's not much, but it could be the difference.
Razor wire defense is set. Psst. Keep it down.
Volts ready for action.
Razor wire in place. Quiet, or they'll hear us. huh? Who's next? Fresh ammo coming up.
You got them all. Gear up and make sure your defenses are holding. You better hustle. Another swarm is almost on you. Enemy are moving in through the hangar. Move to new position.
Razor wire defense is set.
Something is here. I can feel it.
Voltage grid ready.
Yeah! Stay down, creep. Razor wire defense is set. Found the door smashed.
We have ourselves an auto turret.
Auto turret online and scanning.
Got the looker! Door charge set.
Something's wrong.
Screamer! Take him out! Swarm coming in! Fresh ammo coming up. Let's do this. I'm out of bullets.
Resupplied and check defenses. Hurry up.
Something is here. I can feel it.
Swarm coming in through the terminal. Form up. We got a full charge. The big one is down.
Putting the mine down. Putting the mine down.
Stay quiet.
Grid is juice. Putting down a 50 cal turret. Hey, we don't want them to hear us. Ammo coming up. Oh, hazmat over here. Y'all better run. No more bull. Yeah, who's next?
Nice work. You bought us some time. Stock up and check your defenses. You better hustle. Another swarm is almost on you.
What goes down?
Take a look. Stay quiet. It is our art.
All right, let's do this. Mortar kit set to go. Laying down a claymore. Putting the mine down. Fresh ammo coming up. Oh, you were all mine. Here they come! Oh, that's right. I got eyes on an infector! Oh, yeah! Racking them up! I'm out of bullets! Bull coming in!
Enemy are moving in through the hangar. Move.
Oh, that's done.
Thanks. All right. Shit! Move! We got a creep! Thanks.
What the hell? I'm stuck in the gate. Fuck me. They got me all tangled in the damn gate. Get out of there.
Hold your breath. Go for the infector. Lord, protect us.
Should be hearing a lot of explosions. Yeah.
Shit! I see a creeper!
Defeated. Restock and patch up your defense lines. You better hustle. Another swarm is almost on you.
Fresh ammo coming up.
Ah, there
Putting
you
the
go.
mine down.
Stay quiet.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Son of a bitch. And up around here. Nothing? Gosh.
They should be ready for me. Ready fresh.
Bull coming in! Who's first?
The gates are under attack. Do not let them through.
Infector's done!
Look out! Creeper!
Putting the mine down.
Bring them on! I've got eyes on a hazmat.
Laying down the claymore.
Work together. It's our best chance.
Putting the mine down.
They should be ready.
Gas bag coming in!
The gates! They're gonna break through!
Swarm coming in!
Got the looker! Somebody help them! The gates are under attack! Do not let them through!
Yeah! Back up!
You're fine. I couldn't get off of it.
I won't forget this. Using Stimpy.
Get the gate is over.
Infected on the airfield! Help us! Help!
Ah!
If they get through, we're dead! Think on the gates! If they get through, we're dead! Think on the gates! If they get through, we're dead!
Of the watery monster, Tiamat, and her golden veins he knowledge acquired. If indeed beyond the hammered bracelet he had journeyed, on earth, the seventh planet, is his asylum. In the assembly a prince spoke up. A son of Anu he was, of the womb of Antu, Anu's spouse, he was the issue. Enlil was his name, lord of the commanded men. Words of caution he was saying. Of conditions Alalu cannot speak. Calamities were his handiwork. By single combat and wrestling he the throne forfeited. If Tiamat's gold he indeed had found, proof of that is needed. Is it for protecting our atmosphere sufficient? How through the hammered bracelet to Nibiru can it be brought? Thus did Enlil, the son of Anu, speak. Others many questions also asked. Much proof was greatly needed. Many answers are required. All agreed. The words of assembly to Alalu were conveyed. A response demanded. Alalu the words Merritt pondered. To transmit his secrets, he agreed. Of his journey and its perils in truth, he an account gave. Of the tester, its crystal innards he removed. From the sampler, its crystal heart he took out. Into the speaker he the crystals inserted, all the findings to transmit. Now that proof has been delivered, declare me king. Bow to my command, he sternly demanded. The sages were aghast. With weapons of terror, Alalu on Nibiru more havoc caused. With weapons of terror, a path through the bracelet he blasted. Once in its circuit, Nibiru that region passes. Calamities Alalu is amassing. In the council there was much consternation. The kingship to alter was indeed a grave matter. Anu, not by ancestry alone, was king. By fair wrestling the throne he attained. In the assembly of princes, a son of Anu stood up to speak. He was wise in all matters. Among the sages renowned he was. Of the secrets of waters he was a master. Ea, he whose home is water, he was called. Of Anu he was the firstborn. To Damkina, Alalu's daughter, he was espoused. My father by birth is Anu the king, Ea was saying. Alalu by marriage my father is. To bring the two clans into unison was my espousal's intention. Let me be the one, in this conflict, unity to bring. Let me Anu's emissary to Alalu be. Let me be the one Alalu's discoveries to uphold. Let me in a chariot to earth journey. A path through the bracelet with water, not fire, I shall fashion. On earth, from the waters let me the precious gold obtain.